Well, first of all, I'm no angel. So, although I bring up things that people go, oh my God, I can't believe he's admitting to that. Really? With the horse? No, I never did anything like that. But I'll be honest with you, I really can't think of anything like that in my adult age that I had done that wasn't, it's funny people think I talk a lot, and I haven't shared shit, you know. Just because I say things that are above your head doesn't mean that I'm telling everything I know at all. It becomes abundantly clear to you and in a rude way, which I think is kind of sucks about society. That if you start telling them a story, if someone says we need a doctor, is there a doctor in the house? You start getting scared to raise your hand because as soon as they find out you're a doctor, they're going to go, oh, look at that rich asshole. He's standing up thinking he can save that guy from choking in the restaurant. He saves the guy from choking and then he gets booed. So if you want to talk about shut your mouth, I shut my mouth when I don't want to talk about what I've done. Because everyone goes, oh, you think you're so badass because of that. You're so arrogant. I just am arrogant naturally. And yet I don't have any money. I'm not very attractive. Not anymore. I have lots of stories. I mean, where do I start? When I was in junior high, those girls were older than me, right? But Don had to escort them every day to school, and they were not the ugly girls in the $2,500 occupancy, you know, junior high. So I mean, even Don would get run up on by like their guy wannabe friends, being like, "Why are you hanging out with these girls?" And really, it was no. Why don't you ask us why we're hanging out with Don? And as years go on, probably the most profound things that ever happened to me where I knew something was really going on. And that was after I kind of thought something was going on, which was in Berkeley. And that's when a very attractive woman who I knew what was going on with her. In fact, I had to go out too deep, which means that she went out with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend was my best friend, and he was kind of a hippie type. And at that time, I was not a hippie type. And I wanted to go out and have fun, and have drugs, and just do crazy shit. But I was more gangster back then, relatively speaking. So I had to go out with him. Now, trust me, when I'm pulling, riding shotgun for those two, it became very apparent to me. Wow, every dude looking around here wants his girlfriend. They're all looking at him like it would not have surprised me if someone came up, and it kind of did sometimes, where it was like, "What are you doing with him? Come with me," and they would like push him out of the way, like George McFly. Now he wasn't like that either, but it was around us, like not that we couldn't go out anywhere, but he couldn't follow her everywhere. She ended up going getting a job over in San Francisco, so she had like a 45-minute drive or BART ride over to San Francisco. And I was the only one really with the car. My truck, a lowered, fucking slammed with Flowmaster exhaust GMC. And here's the keys. She could take it. You should have seen this petite girl who looks like Uma Thurman, and yet is 25 but looks like she's 17. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Every pervert in the world wanted her. We would be on the bus or on the BART, and I would be sitting with her because I would have to take her to work. I'd have to pick her up from work. We'd have to make sure she was with someone. And every guy in the bar would stare at her like they wouldn't have any shame in their game. And I'm just sitting there staring. I couldn't stare enough of them down. So I was familiar with that atmosphere. But the one time it happened, I was at a fraternity house in Northridge. And they had gone, I don't know where they had gone, but they had gone to some giant convention. And they came home with a girl who's a pretty girl who wanted to party. You think that's normal, right? Well, she wanted to do more than party. She had some substance abuse issues, which I was very familiar with. Okay, let's party. I talked to her, I drank with her. Why she was coming with them all the way back to the frat house, I don't know. But I had left. I wasn't paying attention. I had my other friends. And then when I came back, she was having sex openly with their people, and people were cheering it on like it's a spring break marathon. Didn't think much about it. I've seen it every day. I've seen it in my bathtub. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Then I realized everyone in this house has fucked her. Then they're inviting their friends over. Something's wrong. And when it hit me like a brick was the next day when this is going to sound weird. All of the guys that were in the frat house's girlfriends go, and I that wasn't advertising. I was not advertising. So the response you would think would be, so was it good? Or you liked it too, huh? But no, the response was, what the fuck are you doing? What do you mean? Why aren't you stopping them? And that was 5 chicks. What do you, your boyfriends are in there, not me. We can't go in there. Okay, what do you think? What are you going to do about this, Don? Oh, God. Can I just go home and do my drugs? No. That girl's getting, like, raped. It doesn't know it. She's not getting raped. But she's, like, being taken advantage of, dude. They're bringing video cameras and shit. Yeah, I know. So I get more involved, and I start trying to figure out what's going on. Now I'm hearing rumors of, like, she's trashed. They're just going to drop her off in front of an emergency room because she's drunk all the time. Wait, you're going to... Wait. You're just going to drop this chick off in front of an emergency room? That's not going to happen. So then I started getting involved. And I thought I was going to be on my own, but thank God, by that point, I knew some real fucking gangsters. And we got into the house, and just by God's grace, nobody was around. She was passed out. We went into her purse. Why? Well, we didn't know where to take her. And, to be honest with you, we didn't know she was over 18 or not. She was like 20-something, but we just wanted to make sure, because this was just getting out of hand. And when we went through her phone book, we found somebody that was her last name that lived locally, and we realized it was her brother. Now, we didn't have to get explicit, but we basically had explained to him what was going on. And we kidnapped her. We took her. She was down. We put her in my car. My homeboy gave me money. He goes, make sure you meet homeboy at the mall. And she's out of it. I mean, she's just fucked up. Now, all these guys in the frat house are going to come out and kick my ass. What are you doing, bro? Are you kidnapping our hooker? And I finally met the brother, and when I stopped, I was like, I don't want this money. I gave it to her. I said, get something to eat. You need a real long week of resting, okay? I mean, she was a beautiful girl. She was like a homecoming queen style girl. And I'll never forget, and this was not pleasant, she was so fucked up in the head, and because of these guys, she leaned over to give me a blowjob when I gave her the money. I'm like, no. That money's for you for free, for nothing. I'm not doing this for that. It bothers the shit out of me. I'm like, because you have to get really into that mode of, like, not wanting that. And so then you're bothered when, okay, I'm never going to get that, but you just offered it to me. But yeah, you're on a mission. You've got to get really, like, in soldier mode with that. And I met the guy who was a cool guy, and he was telling me, we got problems with her, dude. She's one of those girls. Daddy molested? I don't know. But it always bothered me for years about, and then when I got back, I'm thinking, they're going to kick my ass, but fuck them. I could go to the cops instead. And they were just like, don't tell our girlfriends. Please don't tell our girlfriends. Where did you take her? I took her to her brother's. What do you mean, don't tell your girlfriends? Dude, if our girlfriends find out, we're dead. But I never told them. Really, because I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for pressure from your girlfriends. And then my girlfriend, and yes, it was a sexual relationship, around that time, remain nameless, knew who I was. And she wasn't even friends with anyone there. She was young. I was 28. She was 19. I mean, I'm faded. I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm just like, I couldn't even stand awake, which is what I wanted. Doing cocaine, this and that. She followed me around all night. Next day, everyone was laughing at me and making fun of me and what? Well, all her friends were all the hotties that are, like, dating other guys in our gang. And they're making fun of me, Mr. Gay, because now all of a sudden someone has a huge crush on Don. Who? So-and-so. Who the fuck is so-and-so? Oh, it's that girl that was following me all night last night. Yeah. Now, they didn't know it. Well, maybe they did. She had been gang raped. She was taking her boyfriend to a rave. They were going to a rave, and they picked up 3 hitchhikers, which was a big mistake when you're in gang territory. They beat him up, threw him out of the car. They gang raped her, and left their fucking wallet in the car. One of the guys left his fucking wallet in the car. This is here about she was 17. It was on the front page of the paper. Of course, it didn't mention her name or anything like that. Ew. No, it wasn't like that. You want to talk about it? Do you want to do this and that? She wanted to just go like be with me, and it turned into a relationship, and we ended up going out for a year and a half, 2 years. And the guys got arrested, and they were in prison for at least 10 years. And during that process, her father died, and her father was a rabbi. So we can bring in the religious element to it or whatever. But she came to me. Why? Because you're the only guy that I can trust. How do you know that? And so, in that sense, when I'm trying to like defend myself in front of people or authorities, it's very typical to tell these stories because I have no explanation of how a girl I never met before but had that happen to her. I can say, you can call this girl and she will say I'm trustworthy. No. I'm saying that this girl vibed me out of the entire Los Angeles area. Like she was sent to me. And don't think, oh yeah, I'm special, because guess what? I'm not special. That's probably why she was sent to me. If I thought I was special, then I would be very dangerous. But I know all that shit. And it's in my mind. It's in my head. So when I see it going on around me and no one's picking up on it and no one's going to defend some chick, and that's happened too, and then you end up saving them, and then everyone is so thankful that you did that, you still stand back because I don't want to get charged with any kind of like, he's stalking me or he's after me. And there was a little bit of I got the devil send someone to me because I think that's exactly what was going on, and I have had that happen before, where someone's pretending like they're the victim and they're trying to set you up. And there's no denying that happened. But people can be, exercised. But I stood clear, and I always, kept very good notes and witnesses. Because I couldn't figure out what was going on. You would think after 8 years the person would have given it up. And they never won. I never did a thing. But the devil decided to kill me anyways. No, it's a metaphorical term. And it took me, I still haven't recovered. Yes, that's what I'm always talking about when I talk about PTSD. I still have not recovered.